Hello, dear ones. It's Maria with you. Today is July 20th, 2022, and I'd like to talk to you about the fall of Lemuria and Atlantis that I'm gonna do in two parts. Today, I put it together because it's very connected. So let's go to my presentation. Just a minute. Here is our timeline again. The fall of Lemuria happened 25,000 years ago, and Atlantis was about 13,000 years ago. So last time I talked about the Anunnakis, and I explained that the Anunnaki came to Earth for the first time in about 450,000 years ago, and they tried to enslave the races that were there, but they were too powerful, too high vibration, connected to God. They were not able to do it, so they created their own race by mixing their genes with monkey genes and also the Atlantis genetic. And they try to infiltrate each civilization, but the Lemurian, Yu, Rama, and Maya, they were all about nature, about use the natural resource about them. They were always connected to source, so they were not, there was no way for the draconians, for the dark forces to trick them. But in the other hand, the Lemurians, they were working with developing technology and science, and the Anunnakis was human-like because they were a mix of the lighter humanoid race with the reptilian, so they would look like humans, and it was easier for them to go and seduce the Atlanteans to start lowering their vibration and start getting away from their divine power. And the way they did, they seduced them with promise to help them in the technological advancement and genetics. And when I talk about Atlantis, I explained that they started doing experiment mixing the genetics of humans with animals. And in the beginning, that was more for curiosity. I can imagine that the Anunnaki just say, "Oh, what's bad is that? Just do it." And then they would donate or sell those creatures to people. They would take a good care of them. So that was the good part. But and then the bad part of that, they didn't stop there. They were able to infiltrate those people more and more, and they started to going to the bad side of that experiment that I will talk more about on the fall of Atlantis. But what I'm trying to say is the dark forces by 25,000 years ago, they were already in all positions. They were able to infiltrate all positions of power in the Atlantis. So they completely took over Atlantis. It's not to say that everybody that was from Atlantis was that time lost their divine connection and went down in vibration, because of course not everybody. But they were able to infiltrate and completely dominate Atlantis. And they didn't stop there. They wanted to to create a new world order. Have you heard about that somewhere? Klaus Schwab. So they were trying to do that at that time. Can you believe that? How history repeats itself. So basically, they wanted to control everybody. But the Lemurian was their major opponent. The Lemurians said, no, we decided that we were gonna keep with our democracy. The Lemuria implemented the first example of true democracy on the planet Earth. Let's have all its civilization develop in their one. But they didn't agree with that. And the Anunnaki, they connected with other off-world ETs. They developed technology using crystals that they were able to bring an asteroid, to bring a satellite. They were able to grab that satellite and move it around. So what they did, I already explained in another video that Earth used to have two moons. One was a piece of Jupiter that during some explosions, it came outside the gravitational force of Jupiter, past the asteroid belt. I'm not sure, maybe that time it was still the planet. I'm not sure when that happened, but it was held by Earth, and then it became Earth's moon. And then later on, the Andromedas, or maybe it was before, but the other moon was an artificial moon that was brought by the Andromeda from another star system. So they grabbed one of the moon, and I regret to say, they got the real moon, not the artificial one. They placed the moon right over the Lemurian. You can think, oh, why they didn't just went there and slay all the Lemurians? The Lemurians, they were very powerful. They could teletransport, and they were in a higher vibration than. Physically, they were not able to do anything with that. So what they did, they brought that moon right on top of Lemuria, on top of right over the continent of Lemuria, and exploded that moon right there, sinking the whole continent. And what was left after that was only the Hawaii Islands. So that's how the civilization of Lemurian disappeared, the continent of Lemuria disappeared. And remember that that people, of course, a lot of Lemurian perished that time, but they were in contact with their intuition, with God, and they can predict the future. So many of them knew what would happen. So they flee to other places before that happened. And many of them went to underground. And there are many Lemurian cities under the earth, and one called Talos, it's underground city in the Mount Shasta. And those people, they are still living all the way from that time. They are immortal. They are vibrating in the 7th dimension and up, and they are assisting us right now in our ascension, in the ascension of the humans on the surface. Just talk a little bit about the Mount Shasta. It's kind of interesting. Our planet is a multidimensional planet. If you go to Manchester, depend on the vibration that you are and the intention you have, you're gonna see something. I do not advise, at least not years ago, I would not advise you to go there when you are vibrating under 500, because you would not like what you're gonna find there. Anyway, I still want to stay away from there for now. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. And if you do enjoy my videos, please share, subscribe, leave me your comments. I love to see your comments. It's really empower me to see your likes, and let me know what you think. Let me know if there is anything that, and if you have any question, if there is anything that you want to know more about.